Mamacha means woman and is used as a colloquial greeting in the Andes of Peru. There are high levels of unemployment and malnutrition in Peru, but Mamacha is empowering groups of women to help themselves to earn a living. The women of this remote Andean valley have been skilled knitters for centuries. The designs have always passed down from one generation to the next. In the past, these women have often been forced to accept very low prices when selling their products locally. Mamacha has opened up niche markets in the UK, Europe and Japan for the unique hats made in this village. Now they can sell at a much higher and fairer price, providing money to buy food, healthcare and education for their children. The greatest impact has been on their self-esteem. The village is at an altitude of 4,500 meters. The people live in adobe houses with thatched roofs. They are subsistence farmers, growing exotic tubers such as oca, lisas, and many types of potatoes. They graze herds of alpaca and sheep on the terrace slopes. And it's here where the lengthy art of hat making begins. Each knitter cultivates or collects plants and flowers for dyeing the wool. Thomas demonstrates keko, a coreopsis flower used for a clear yellow. Collier, an Andean buddleia flower, produces shades of orange. Natalia is using chilca leaves to dye the wool. Here, she's using colpa, or alum, as a mordant to fix the dye to the fibers. The knitters also use cochineal, gathered from the prickly pear cactus. It provides shades of red and purple. A wild lupin flower is used for a turquoise color. A stunning array of colors can be made by blending the dye materials together or by adding lemon juice. The acid in lemon reacts with the dye to create a brighter shade. Each knitter has their favorite combinations of color. The colors are as much a signature of the knitter as the designs themselves. Luisa shows how the wool is spun by hand on a wooden spindle. The knitters are always producing yarn as they move around the valley, spinning as they walk their animals up to pasture. The wool must be spun very fine to produce yarn of the necessary quality for hat making. The yarn is usually dyed before spinning. Once the knitter has many different colored balls of yarn, the knitting can begin. Ilaria is knitting using 5 very fine needles. You can see the collection of colored yarn she's spun. Each ball of wool is hanging from the knitting, ready to be incorporated into her design. The combination of fine yarn and fine needles allows her to create the most intricate patterns. These stunning hats are also practical as a barrier to the cold because the close stitches keep the wind out and the heat in. Ilaria likes making 2 styles of tulio. The hat she's knitting will have motifs of llamas, flowers, birds and geographic icons. The other type of tulio uses a unique knitting technique that results in a hat covered in baubles, known locally as the canca. Each knitter has their own signature style. You can see the influence of neighbours, mothers or siblings in the knitting of each hat, particularly where new patterns are learnt or yarn shared. These hats are treasured by Mamacha's customers across the globe, who value the traditional skills and the craftsmanship mastered by these rural communities. Mamacha, a registered not-for-profit organization, is committed to continuing to provide work for the women of Peru.